have a lot of people around me that I have relationships with that come from those kind of backgrounds, environments. Specifically dealing with relationships that are close to you. You know, whether they're friendships, whether they're marriages, whether they're parent-child relationships, right? For someone like me, who's dealt with a lot of loss and heartbreak in my life.
How to find happiness, Jada Pinkett's approach on life. I wanted to have a show because when people are courageous, to be honest with me, I feel good. After all, you don't need advice always. Sometimes all you need is someone to share their experience with you, someone being confident enough to show you the true side. Now I have some people in my life who are honest with me, who are courageous enough to tell me what's wrong and what's right, and that thing has saved me from making very big mistakes in my life. The main purpose of Will and I doing this show together was to get rid of the idea of people in the public eye, or people who are famous, have the perfect relationship. No, they don't. They go through some real situations too. They break up, they fight, they argue, they discuss just like normal people. And the other main purpose was to come together and discuss everything and share experiences and take responsibility for both of our parts. Because you know, only women do this alone, or guys do this alone, but both of them do not talk about these things together. And also, when Will shared his experience and showed the courage to talk about things, many people called and said that their wives agreed with what he is saying. And now, they also have their courage to talk about certain things. People weren't allowed to love and share their experiences or open up about anything in the place where I grew up. So, belonging to such a place, I was so devastated and wanted to talk and listen to other people too. Then, Will and I just decided to start a show.
Yeah, sometimes it can be, and sometimes it's just informative. In my own life, I just know that one of the reasons why I wanted to create the show is because when people were courageous enough to be extremely honest with me, that helped me far more. And people sharing with me their experiences, which you have to be really courageous to do, right? Sharing their experiences instead of advice.
One of the things that I did in order to survive it was to create this wall and kind of this invincibility, that warrior, right?
Yeah.
That comes and goes, you can't take me out, so bring it, right? So now when you are confronted with heartbreak with someone who you say you love, and the warrior wants to come and go, what's up? What you got? So that's not loving, and it's surely not gonna create more love.
And so that's why I wanted to have a show. And I mean, I've had some people in my life who were courageous enough to be very, very real with me and prevent me from making some big, huge mistakes in my life. And I was like, why don't we talk like this more often?
But it's been the defense mechanism that's protected me from the wolves, the bears on the street. Where I grew up, you weren't allowed to be open and loving. What you had to be was sly, slick, you know what I'm saying? You had to have one up on everybody else, right? And so it is.
Really, what was really important about Will and I doing that show together, two things. First of all, was really to kind of get rid of the idea that people in the public eye have perfect relationships. We were kind of sick of living up to that. We were real sick of it.
And you definitely, you also have to, in order to protect yourself in the war zones that I grew up in, it's like, there's a little killer that's inside of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so all of these aspects of my personality that have been nurtured, and even coming out to LA at a young age and dealing with all these what I call pseudo wolves.
Because I think a lot of times successful men might feel like, hey, look, I know what I'm doing. I've had a lot of success in a lot of areas. I know exactly what I'm doing. So a lot of times, you can shut your partner down a little bit,
But yet and still having to have that killer instinct on point, And that's kind of where Will and I connected. That inner killer, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we know how to fight, you know what I mean? And so then when it's time for he and I to actually have some openness, right? Because of what we've nurtured.
And then second of all, really having myself and Will come and talk about our relationship. Sometimes you see just women do it alone, or you just see a guy do it, and us coming together and taking responsibility for both of our parts.
If you want to see more videos like this, smash the like button.